Alright, so I don't know if you can see the screen as well. Here we are. Here you guys go. But we're doing a Skylanders tier list. Here we go. Yeah. So we're doing all the Skylanders tier list. And keep in mind, these are in my opinion. Although one of them everyone seems to agree. But all the Skylanders games, in my opinion, for my 75 subscribers special. Sorry about the ads everywhere. I did not really think this one through, but I just want to get a video out to you guys. Next time I will be prepared if I ever do a tier list again. So here we go. First game on the list. We'll go by order. First game on the list. Spyro's Adventure. Spyro's Adventure. Very fun game. Enjoyed it a lot. F tier for bad. A tier for probably the best in the series. I would put this game in... Honestly, I would put this game in B tier. Now the reason, well, I already hear the fucking pitchforks. You put Skylanders Adventures in B tier. What the hell is wrong with you? It belongs in A tier. Well, the reason why it's not going in S tier, one, it is for one reason and one reason alone. Honestly, otherwise it would have been easiest A tier in my life. It's the combat in the game. It's like very hard if you don't have leveled up Skylanders and you start with this 3 starter pack. But because like if you lose all those 3 Skylanders, you're not getting another chance. You have to restart everything from scratch. So yeah, it's pretty hard and you can't really do anything willy-nilly. But now that all the Skylanders have been out, and when the more back in the day, the more Skylander you have, the more lives you have. Also, there's no way to increase the enemy difficulty, so personally, I replayed the game again. It's just easy. The enemies aren't really that hard to deal with. There's only like some certain levels where the enemies get hard to deal with, but yeah. All in all, it's a B tier. Definitely would recommend the game. And the story's pretty... I really enjoyed the story, too, so... Skylanders Spyro's Adventure goes in B tier. Next game we have, is... Skylanders Giants. I'm putting this bad boy in... Probably... A tier. Now, the reason this game's going on A tier and not the first game is... Well, one, you get to, they let you have different modes, so if normal mode, your Skylanders are like fully leveled, that's okay. They got hard mode, which actually does provide a challenge for you. And so if you're not careful, you can even lose all your Skylanders in like one run. Plus the new characters, the elemental zones are still fun to use, and the story's alright. I prefer Spyro's Adventure story. I prefer the other story ones than this one, but everything else makes it an A tier. Plus, I do have fond memories of this of Giants because the commercials. Everybody talked about it in my elementary school. Now, if y'all know me, if y'all been through half my Skylander series, there's no debate where Swap Force is going. Easiest A tier in my life. I would have put it in S tier if this actually had an S tier. I know there's a lot of... Alright, how could you put Swap Force in S tier? Why not the first game? Well, well, first of all, it's my fucking channel, my fucking tier list, so my fucking rules. And why Swap Force is going on S tier is, well, one, the swappable abilities. You can swap between your Skylanders. Makes it really fun to mix and match and see what abilities you can get. Also, the story. I really enjoyed the story of like one part of Skylands what nobody knew about for 1,000 years, and the fact that Chaos naturally has a family a little bit, so you get a little bit of lore into kind of a deep picture of why he became so evil in the first place. Not to mention, we got Tessa, one of the best NPCs ever. Also, the gameplay in that game is so much fun. I still go back to this game and just play that game. So I have an excuse to play Swap Force. Because Swap Force is just so much fun. Literally, probably the best in Skylander series. In fact, it's so legendary, I'm going to move Giants down to B tier, and Swap Force is A tier. I'm sorry, but that's just me. Next, we got Skylander Trap Team. This game is pretty much... Now, originally, first time, I would have put it in C tier. But now that I have played through the game, I will put it in B tier. B tier seems fair. One, I'm not a fan of the whole catching villains. I'm not a fan of the whole catching villains thing. I kind of like battling evil instead of... Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of the catching the villains instead of doing the becoming a cop, basically. And it didn't really feel that light on it, but it was still fun. I still had fun nonetheless. It just felt like more of you're the cop, catch the robber, and make him fight for you type game. It felt a little bit short, but once again, they still have elemental zones. They still let you choose the difficulty. So, I really can't say that's a bad thing. Next, we have Superchargers. Superchargers also gets B tier. Now, the reason why it would go back in the day, it would have gone in D or F tier. But the reason why it's going on B tier now is because I recently finished the playthrough on it, and I have a little bit more respect for the game. It finishes the story about the light and darkness battles and why darkness ever became in Skylands, and the mystery about the core of light itself. And they did a really good job explaining the story about that. Since in the past other 3 games, the core of light was just like one thing, device, and then it's done with. But I like how they went back to it and didn't forget how it all started. So, yeah, the cars, might not have been my favorite, but it wasn't bad. The only reason why I wouldn't make it any higher is because the elemental zones are not the same. No more cool elemental zones. Now, for the last Skylander game, in the main series, you know it. We all hate it. Imaginators. Easiest tier ever. F tier. And that goes in F tier immediately. Where do I begin with this one? Where do I begin? Okay, let's first of all, they took this is the only game, the only fucking Skylander game. And I know it's not a big deal as it was back then. Now we have microtransactions everywhere, but there's microtransactions in that game. That shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't. That should not be a thing. That's not the main reason why I hate the game, but yeah, that's one of the reasons. Another reason why that game is going on to F tier. Personally, this one is all. This one is just a. This one is just a personal gripe with me. You can't create four-legged Skylanders. You can only they can only stand up on two legs. The Imaginite crystals, yeah, they can only stand up on two legs. Remember how in Spyro's Adventure, some Skylanders would stand on four legs, like the dragons, the phoenixes, the worms. Yeah, that you can't do that. They all must stand on two legs, specifically two legs, and that that really that really takes away from the creativity of creating any Skylander you want. So yeah, not even four-legged Skylanders you can create. Another thing that everyone did not like about it is, I feel like, is the fucking Skylander types. You know how they were like, let's say in they did it a little bit in Swap Force, but not to the point where it would ruin it. Like the Supercharge. Like there's only Supercharged Skylanders, so you gotta swap the bodies with one of them. That's easy to fix. All you gotta do is swap it. This game, in specifically, this game, fucking, you gotta classes. It feels like more Dungeons and Dragons and more what made Skylanders special. What you paid is what you get. You see, for example, you got a Skylander that is a Scorpion. He's gonna do Scorpion-based moves. You got a Skylander that has Bumblebee launchers. You're gonna fire Bumblebees at the enemy. You got a Skylander that shoots a wet trick. She's gonna shoot a wet trick at enemies. That game, if you buy Skylander and if you don't like it, it's really a mixed bag of what you get, because the classes just don't make it known about what that Skylander does. And the names aren't even clever. Like the pun names. Like Roller Brawler or Grim Creeper. That's clever. I like that. Or Wrecking Ball. I like that. They didn't even bother. They just slap a paste on it and call it a day. Another thing I don't like about this game, the stats. Remember the hat stats? I know they were there for the Imaginators now, but for previous Skylanders games, yeah, the hats don't fucking matter. So your cool hat you got on Nightmare mode with that one Skylander you've been grinding for like months and months, and you finally get it. Doesn't matter in the last game. Take that out. Whatever hat you got there, not useful. And the story is like a story that doesn't even feel inspired or whimsical anymore. It just felt like it was good guy, bad guy, good guy wins on top. Like, no, that's not how you do a Skylander game. And the fucking elemental zones are just not even, they're reduced to their own fucking map. That even that not even your fucking Skylanders can do it. So your past elemental Skylanders don't matter because you can't enter it. You need a sensei, and a sensei Skylanders, they're not cool. They're kind of just There's so much more I could go into why I don't like the game, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna continue to tier list. There's a lot more I can say about that game, but long story short, F tier by any of the other Skylander games except Imaginators. F tier. Sorry if you like the game and you don't like the game. You don't like it. F tier. Game's not worth any of the money. Now we're going on to the mobile games. But first, Skylanders Academy. Skylanders Academy, the show on Netflix. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Now, don't get me wrong. By that point, the damage has already been done. Because this the Skylander Imagineers also try to get the characters and get you excited for Skylanders Academy for the TV show. I'm sorry, but it's C tier. The show wasn't bad, but it just relied too much on the humor, and it kind of got repetitive after a while. How can I explain this? It's sort of like they were trying so much on the meta humor and then mix it up with the kids humor that it's all over the place, and it wasn't funny. They tried to make it funny and it wasn't. While trying to keep the story on, it didn't work. It was trying to be different things, but it wasn't. And by the end of the last season that they made, it wasn't that worth it. But it's not a bad show, but it just didn't do anything. But it was interesting to see them not go to Earth. So it was interesting to see the Skylanders on television and not miniaturized toys that we know and love. Now it's time for the Skylander mobile game. Skylander, I remember this game, Lost Island. I'm gonna put C tier on it. Remember remember the My Little Pony game on the App Store that's still going to this day? It's sort of like that, except they stopped working on the game now. But back then, they had updates for it. I would put it in C tier. Nothing special, but it didn't hurt. It was sort of like if you wanted to pass the time and just like play Skylanders on a long holiday trip or something. But it wasn't bad per se. Not good either, but it wasn't bad, so it deserves C tier. Doesn't deserve hate. So yeah. Alright, next game. Skylander Battlecasters. I never played Battlecasters, but from what the trailer shows me, it was sort of like hold on, let me review it real quick. I actually never did Skylanders Battlecasters, so I can't really let me hurry up. Oh. Oh, I definitely know. It's just basically a card game with the Skylander attack cards moves. A little bit like PvZ Heroes, so, I'm not gonna... I'm gonna put it in D tier. Sorry. I don't want to put it in F tier because I don't really know. But I'm not gonna put it in a good tier. But I'm not gonna put it in a bad tier either. So it's just gonna be in the D tier. Skylander Ring of Heroes. This has been the last that's been the last thing that they've done with Skylanders in a while. Personally, I played it before and I kind of dig the story a little bit. So, to be honest, I'm gonna say that game goes into I'm gonna put it in C tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's sad that they shut down, but I'm gonna put it in B tier because the story was actually kind of cool. That how you got sucked in this time, but without the toys, so your Skylanders had to do their best to defend you from the monsters and stuff. So quite an interesting twist on it. So also, it was sort of like a Fire Emblem Heroes thing with the 5-star character, right? And they actually had a if they had made it something else, they could have done it. All right, so yeah, this is the tier list. Now, I know this isn't really much of a big subscriber video as like the other ones, but I didn't expect to hit 75 subscribers. So thank you all so much for the journey to reach 75 subscribers. And I have made a deal with myself. If we ever hit 100, if we hit 100 subscribers before the end of this year, I will not talk crap about myself for an entire month. But I don't think we're gonna meet that goal. But if we do, oh my god, the hiccups. If we do, I will not talk shit about myself. Yeah, that's basically the tier list. So, moral of the story is buy Swap Force, buy the other games, except Imaginators. Fuck Imaginators. Fuck that game. Which I sadly still have to play. Poor me. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for 75 subscribers. Do not trust any of the scams. Don't download Temu because it's a scam app. And have a good day. Thank you for 75 subscribers.